Good evening, everybody. My name is Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter. Today is Friday, August the 8th, 2025, and welcome back to my Flosstube channel. If you are new, welcome. This is a channel where I talk about all my cross stitch. I'm not going to go over the plans that I'm doing, like in detail. If you want to know what I have going on regarding my stitching plans, I will link that video down below in the description box because I kind of go over everything that I'm doing right now. If you're returning, welcome back. Thanks so much for watching. We have a lot to go over today. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the whips, and then I'll talk about like little life updates towards the end, because I know not everybody, everyone says, no, not everyone cares about that, but I think for the most part, most people listen to it. I'm not going to go into detail, but yeah. Anyway, this is my board of everything I worked on this week. It was a lot. I got a lot of projects to show. Let's see, 10 projects to show for this week. Actually, really, it's 9 because Catching Rays is in 2 spots. But anyway. But yeah, so that's everything I worked on this week. Hey, Gracie, come here. You want to come here? Mr. Whiskers is taking a nap in my room. Gracie, some of y'all were sad that you didn't get to see either one of the cats. Come here. Say hi, Gracie. Let go of my shoulder. Say hi, Gracie. That's Gracie Lou. Say hello. That's Gracie girl. All right, I'm so sorry I disturbed you from grooming yourself. I tossed her back up on the back of the couch where she was. I didn't throw her across the room. Okay, so how am I doing this? All right. Let's get into... Let me do the Monopoly stitching first. So we are doing a new round of Monopoly this week because I was able to get my Monopoly stitching done. Here we go. Oopsies. Oh no. Okay. So the first project I'm going to show you from Monopoly is Winter Sampler. This is charted by Kohler Design Studio. Artwork is by Sandy Orton. And this is what it's going to look like when it's done. A lot of different people are stitching this. Either this one, so I know that Jamie from Cross Stitch and Chill is stitching this one. She is cross stitching wise, she's a lot further along than me, but I think she still has all the back stitching to do. And then Jessie over at Jessie Marie Does Stuff is working on the summer one. I have all 4 of them started at various stages. But I'm doing this with the called for DMC 2/2 full cross, or however it's charted for, like half stitches or what have you, on a 28 count tea-dyed Monaco. And for Monopoly, I needed to get 400 stitches, and this is where I got to with it. One second. I mean, you're still going to see this, but let me see what happens if I move that light that direction. Okay, that's a bit better. It's not so shadowy. So I got 400 stitches on this, and so if you paid attention to the before photo, which you probably didn't, I had a darker color kind of going around this way and kind of in here. I had to frog it because I realized, thank God for Pattern Keeper. I was doing this color that's right here, this little loop right here. I was doing that color and I realized that it was like, I have it in Pattern Keeper now. And I realized it was highlighted all through here, and I was like, wait a minute, that's a different color. And so then I referred back to my key, and I realized that that dark brown and this blend are both filled in circles, but one is bigger than the other one. I was so irritated. So I had to clip all that out and then stitch it with the correct color. But I did. And I think after I got my 400-ish, I'm estimating I got 400 because with the thing, Pattern Keeper has, when it's counting fractionals, I just noticed a spot on my fabric. It doesn't matter, I don't care. When Pattern Keeper counts fractionals, it counts it as one stitch instead of a quarter of a stitch. So I kind of went over the amount to accommodate the fact that it was a quarter of a stitch, because there was a few colors that I was doing quarter stitches on. But I did go through, for those of you who have seen me post this before, I did go through and I believe that I have all of the stuff marked off, because I had this start and I had a good chunk of this up here done, and then Pattern Keeper did an update where it would recognize fractional stitches, and so I uploaded it into Pattern Keeper, and I've been trying to mark off what I had already completed. So I believe I have all of that done now. So not counting the back stitching, I now have 6,164 stitches completed out of 33,314 cross stitches. I am at 18.50% plus back stitching. So but yeah, really liking this piece. Okay, so there is that one. You're gonna hear my kid in the background. And then the other Monopoly piece I had to work on for this week was Catching Rays. This one needed a lot of stitches, and it is charted by the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter. It is very large. It is 1,200 by 900. Which makes the total stitch count 1,080,000 stitches. For anyone who sees this and they're like, oh my God, I want to do it. Keep in mind it's over 1 million stitches. Yes, there are projects that are bigger. Hang on. Okay. Yes, there are projects that are bigger than this. I believe Gecko Rouge has or had one that's 2 million stitches. But this is my biggest project, and people see it and they're like, oh, I want to do it. And then I tell them how many stitches are in it. They're like, oh, wait. So it's over 1 million stitches, but it's got 134 colors. Did I say? Yeah, I did. Okay. And I'm going to show you the whole before picture because I'm going to tie this in with my whip into shape stitching. So for Monopoly, I needed 600 stitches, and for whip into shape, which I'll talk about in a minute, I ended up doing 400. What did I say for Monopoly? Monopoly, I needed 600. Did I say 400? Monopoly, I needed 600, and whip into shape, I ended up doing 400. So this piece got 1,000 stitches this week. And I'm doing it 1/1 full cross on a 32 count easy count Lugano with the call for DMC. And this is where I got to with it. That's the whole thing, or what I've done so far. But that's where I got to with it. So up here is where I did the Monopoly stitching. And down here is where I was working on whip into shape. So whip into shape is the challenge set by, which I talk about this in my plan, so I'm not going to go into great detail, but whip into shape is the challenge set by Andrew the Runner Stitcher. So this section right here will look a lot better once this diagonal gets filled in. This gets filled in a little bit more. But I am now sitting at 33,432 stitches completed out of 1,080,000, and I am at 3.10%. So parked threads all over the place. But yeah, looking really good. I started doing this page by page in a checkerboard, and then I decided that I didn't want to do that anymore. And I converted it into 2 diagonals. So for Monopoly, this only needs 200 more stitches to get its 4,000 stitch goal. So when we'll see if I need to do any stitches for this piece for Monopoly. If I do, then I will show you the replacement piece, because I'm only going to need 200 stitches for that, and then I can replace it with something else, which I already know what I'm replacing it with. Okay, so Monopoly was done. That was whipped into shape. My finish the ship piece is Calendar Girls October. This is from Little House Needleworks from 2014. It was their Calendar Girls series. And I've been trying to do a strand a day, but I play a game on Facebook with my stitching, and a new event just started where I have to count my stitches, so it was easier for me to just do even hundreds. So I did a couple hundred stitches on it. I got 200 stitches on this, and this is where I got to with it. I am doing this 2/2 full cross on a 32 count Legacy Lugana by Picture This Plus. So I don't have a whole lot to go, I don't think. I got to do the C and the O for October. There's another color that goes in here. The stuff in her dress, I started the stitches in her dress, but I got to finish the lighter stitch and then the center one. Her feet, the leaves and vines here, and her face. Yeah, so I mean, it's like there is, but there isn't more to go. So if I can keep on cracking with that, I'm hoping maybe I could have that be done in like another week or two at the most. Maybe a finish this week, depending. Put that in that bag. Okay. Oh, hey, I'm trying to keep my stuff separated as to what I need to keep out and what I can like put back in the closet to spare. Okay. Next up, let's do my temperature stitching. So this week, the project, oh, that's not the right one. The project I have for 0 and 5 is Bless This Nest. This is a kit from Busilla. I was able to get all my temperature stitching done this week. I meant to say that when I showed my board. But this is a kit from Busilla. Artwork is by Andrea Tachera, I don't know. And this week I needed to do, I only needed 100 stitches. I'm using everything that came in the kit, and this is where I got to with it. I just worked on filling in, the cross stitches in this area here. So my goal, my plan will be to finish filling in the cross stitching here, and then here and up here, and then go in and finish the back stitching. So before I move up here. So this got 100. Okay. Next up, the ones for the numbers, temperatures ending in 1 or 6 is Magnificent Wizard. This is a kit from Dimensions Gold Collection. Artwork is by Don Mates. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. Bless This Nest was stitched on a 14 count white Aida. I forgot to mention that. This one is everything that came in the kit, and it is being stitched on an 18 count black Aida. Get back in there. This week I just needed to do 100 stitches on it, and this is where I got to with it. I worked, I want to say I did a lot of the black that was in the wing right here. I think that's mostly what I worked on. Maybe another color, I don't know. I don't remember. I did this earlier in the week. So I will keep working on this section here. You're not going to be able to figure the pattern out, so I'm going to show you my highlighted copy. So this, I want to say, is all done, but I'm going to keep working in this section right here, and I may go in and backstitch this part. Maybe. I don't know. I probably should. Because you guys know how I am with backstitching. Dimensions kits, at least. I don't want to. I got a few more weeks before I have to figure that out, because I have a couple hundred more stitches before this section, this page is like completely highlighted. So, okay, the next one that ends in if the temperature ends in 2 or 7, I work on Aurora Cabin. Is this it? Yes. And this is another Dimensions Gold collection. Artwork is by Kim Norlin. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. Using everything that came in the kit, this is being stitched on a 16 count gray Aida. And again, I have a page that has been highlighted over here on the right hand side, so I decided to go with that. And this piece, I just needed 100 stitches, and this is where I got to. Looks like more because I worked up here in this tree up here, and I was working on a lot of half stitches. Let me tell you, that was a bit of a pain because a lot of those colors were anywhere from 4 to 6 strands. That's kind of a thing with Dimensions. If you've never done one, they'll do half stitches, but you use you know, anywhere from 4 to 6 strands of floss. That joker was thick, let me tell you. It was thick, and it was hurting my fingers. Thank God it was only 100. I'm seeing why I put this down and walked away, because this is like, a lot of this is like 2 strands full cross, right? And then I started getting over here to where it was like the background stuff, where it was like all the four strands half cross, 6 strands half cross, 2 strands of this color, 2 strands of this color, blend them together, and then do half crosses, like pain in my ass. So that got 100. And then my last, nope, 2 more. My next one is if the temperature ends in 3 or 8, I work on Frederick. And this is a kit from Creative Accents. This is still available, I think, under Dimensions. This is designed by Charles Wysocki. Using everything that came in the kit, 14 count black Aida. This piece ended up getting 200 stitches. And I'm going to kind of pull this up to show the bottom more because I worked on the bottom. That's where I got to this week. So this is the very, very bottom here. So that's cool. So I mostly worked in this part down here, and then I came up and started filling this book in a little bit. But this got 200 stitches. Meow. Boo. Kitty. Okay. And then the final whip of shame, or, well, yeah, they're all whips of shame. But the final temperature piece is if the temperature ends in 4 or 9, I work on In Her Garden. I just realized how many of these are Dimensions Gold collections or Dimensions of some sort. That's funny. Dimensions Gold, Dimensions Gold, Dimensions Gold, Division of Dimensions, and then Busilla. That's funny. Dimensions Gold collection artwork is by Sandra Cook. This is In Her Garden. And using everything that came in the kit, this is being stitched on an 18 count ivory Aida. And again, I had part of the chart copied as a working copy, so I'm just going with that page, so I didn't have to do any extra work. And I got 200 stitches on it this week, but again, it was all half stitches, so it's going to look like more. And this is where I got to with it. All in boring ass background, filling it in, so that's good. I'm working mostly in the background because the page that I have copied actually goes all the way up to the top corner. So I was like, oh, well, that'll work. I'll just kind of keep working like over and up so I can get up to the corner. But I don't want to go too far because this blend right here of two black and two dark green is a lot in this area, and I don't want to miscount. You know what I mean? So I'm basically just doing like a few lengths of that and trying to stick to like a section so that I don't lose my place when I'm trying to mark off on the pattern where I'm at. But this got 400 half crosses, but 200 stitches. Okay. So that was all my temperature stitching. I did not get to work on my Year of Gnomes piece this week. Kind of sad about that, but it's okay. And all right, let's do Honeymoon Sunset's gonna be last. Okay, so next up is my alphabet pieces. So I was able to do 3 of them. I did D, E, and F. And for the letter D, I worked on Day to Night Tropics. This is a retired chart from Pain Free Crafts. Artwork is by, is it Lars Stewart? Yeah, Lars Stewart. It is 600 by 430. I do not know how many colors it is, but this is what it's gonna look like when it's done. I started in the upper left-hand corner. So, in the palm tree. Like Robert Downey Jr. in that meme that he's like, I'm doing it 1/1 full cross on a, I think this is a 28 count, easy count Lugana. And I got my 500 stitches on it. And I decided for right now, because I'm only doing 500, I'm not like working more on it. I was like, let me just work on getting this filled in. Alara, I sent a picture to Alara because I was like, I don't really see a difference. She said she can tell. I was like, okay, whatever you say. But I worked on mostly like kind of like picking symbols, kind of like how Stitching Mommy does it. Picking symbols and like kind of trying to get this top section filled in and working the thread down. That's really what I was doing. But I am now sitting at 2,200 stitches completed out of 258,000. I am at 0.85%. So almost 1% with that. And if you hear that, it is pouring down rain outside. Like pouring down rain. Okay, that will be put away. For the letter E, I worked on Espresso. This is a kit from Mill Hill, one of my Mill Hill kits, from the Buttons and Beads. Son of a bitch. Hang on, I dropped my beads. I forgot that. Oh man, forgot the bottom of the bag was open. Okay, hold on, let me try this again. Okay, Buttons and Beads Autumn Series, and this is Espresso, and that is what it's gonna look like when it's done. and I'm using all the called for stuff. And it's on a 14 count, I guess, perforated paper. And here is my 500 stitches. Ah, there we go. Here's my 500 stitches. I will say, so I did a lot. I did the beads here. I did the beads going up this way and going across. So those beads are done. I did these beads here. I did beads going around here. I don't mind beading as I go, and I can work around, because the Mill Hill says do all the cross stitches and then bead. I can work around it, but what I will say is I did screw this up a little bit. There's going to be like you see how this trail of steam right here? It's supposed to go, there's another part that goes up and across and up in this way like that. And there's supposed to be two of this color stitch right here going across here, which I didn't leave space for. And it's beads, it's not regular cross stitching where it was supposed to go. So I will either adjust and just stitch over that the purple cross stitching with this color instead of the bead section, because it's just literally 2 stitches. So maybe I'll try to adjust it so it goes down a little bit and then do that, or I'm just gonna ignore it and just do the 2 stitches over here and then just come across and bring it up. I don't know yet. I pulled back and I adjusted for this part, but I didn't realize until after I started here and I worked all the beads up and I worked them over, and once I got done and I like sat back and looked, I was like, oh, son of a bitch, they were supposed to, it's supposed to be space here too. Ho hum, oh well. But yeah, I got some beads down here too, and in here, yeah. It's coming along. It's really cute. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. But I got my 500 stitches on that. And then for the letter F, I worked on Fairy Tale Cottage. This is charted by the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter. It is $9.79 by $7.37. It has 133 colors. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. I have 2 corners started. I have this corner over here, which that's not where I worked at. I also have this corner over here. So when you say it's a tree, but right now it don't look like jack. It's so boring. Which makes me sad. Okay, so I'm doing this with the Call for DMC 2/1 tent stitch on a 25 count easy count Lugana. I ended up only doing 500 tent stitches instead of doubling it for my stitching games. I just did 500 tent stitches because I was trying to like get this stuff done. So got my 500 tent stitches completed, and this is where I got to with it. This is in the upper right hand corner. And I converted this so that I'm making it 2 diagonals. But this, so I basically, this was like kind of partially filled in. This diagonal was like all like this. So what I did when I brought this out was I came over here and I just started extending it out so it was the 2 diagonals, and then I just slowly started filling this in bit by bit. I am now, I'll show you the other corner in a minute because this is going to go away for a bit since it got its 500, but I'm now sitting at 26,342 stitches completed out of 721,523. I am at 3.65%. So this is the upper right hand corner, and I counted over. I'm good. I double checked, made sure. This is the upper left hand corner, and I had also worked my way down to that. So So that's where all those other stitches came in. But look at that tree. There are so many colors in this. There's 133 colors total, and I swear I must have used like 120 of them in this corner up here. I swear I had to have. There was so many color changes in that section there. Because when I started this, I remember, I didn't continue doing it, but when I started this, I was like, oh, you know what would be fun? I'm gonna write down all this. This is what I did. I wrote down all of the colors that are, great, now my floss is stuck in the zipper, son of a bitch. There we go. I wrote down all of the colors that are in the project, okay? And I wrote down all the colors that were in the project and how many stitches there were of each one, because it's in Pattern Keeper, right? And then when I did a color change, like when I worked on a specific color, I would put like a little circle next to it or something. I would like mark it, right? Tally, check mark, whatever, to show I did put stitches in on that color that month. And then at the end of the month, I rewrote the list out and I saw how many stitches of each color that I did. It was just something I did for a few months. I thought it was interesting. And then I stopped doing it. But that's why I know there was like well over 100 colors in that upper left-hand corner. It was so much. Okay. Final whip to show you is going to be my focus piece for the year. This is Honeymoon Sunset, and it is charted by the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter. It is 869 by 649, and it has 134 colors. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. And my goal is to get it to 50% by the end of the year. I got, my goal for this month is to get it to 46%, right? We're in August. September would be 47, 48 for October, 49 for November. Yeah, okay. I was like, wait, no, right? Yeah, 46% for the month of August is what I'm trying to get to. I got 1,300 stitches on it this week. I am doing this 2/1 10th stitch on a 25 count easy count Lugana. I'm working on this. I was like getting ready to like show, like kind of fold it up so I could like show that right there. No, I'm way over here. Here's where I got to. I'm working on this in 2 diagonals. But yeah, almost have that diagonal complete. I am now sitting at 256,371 stitches completed out of 563,981. Let me say those numbers again because I felt like I paused a lot. 256,371 stitches completed out of 563,981. I am at 45.46% complete. This diagonal is almost done. I'm wondering, I got what, that much done, right? Oh, let's do some girl measurements here. I got about what, that much done. Maybe 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks till I get this diagonal done, and then I'll come back down here and start back down here again. Yeah. I love this piece so much. So very, very much. So yeah. Look at that. Look at that. I'm not gonna like, I can't see. All right, I can't. I don't know what's happening. Maybe you can see it, maybe not. Who knows? Nobody knows. Okay. So those are all my whips. That's everything I worked on. I feel like it was a little rushed. But I still have to do a round of Monopoly and then show you what whips I'm going to be working on this week and go over temperatures for the upcoming week. And me and the kids still have to eat dinner. Haven't done that yet, but they weren't super hungry. So I told them to get some yogurt and granola and eat that. And then they were like, I said, we'll go out after I film. Okay, so let me pause and we'll go play a round of Monopoly. Yeah, let's go do that. Okay, welcome back to round number 21 of Monopoly. I got all the pieces in their place. Got my dice from Andrew that he made for me. Andrew the Runner Stitcher. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with the cat, who apparently has taken a nap on B&O Railroad. There we go. All right, let's see what kind of trouble we get into this week. Oh, doubles. Oh boy, here we go. Okay, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Community chest. Help organize the fancy floss at your LNS. 100 stitches on Park Place property. So that'll be, okay, that'll be dark blue. Give me 1 second, I'm just writing this stuff down. Okay, roll number 2. Let me slide this down. There we go. So that'll be 100 stitches for whatever you have for dark blue, Park Place, side 4, whatever. Oh my God, doubles again. Oh, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Reading Railroad. I feel like someone just bought that. Someone did just buy that. Okay. Go. That'll be 200 stitches on the Go property, so that will be the last time I stitch for Catching Rays. For Monopoly anyway, not forever. And then Reading Railroad, the dog bought it last round, so we are going to pay 200 stitches for rent. And then oh, thank God. Okay. I thought we were gonna get 3 sets of doubles. All right. 3. 1, 2, 3. Vermont. Can you guys see that? Yeah, barely. It's down here at the bottom. Vermont. Is that owned? I do not know. Hang on. Vermont is not owned. So we are going to purchase it for 600 stitches. Okay. So Vermont will be purchased for 600 stitches. I dropped my needle threader. I wanted to pick it up before I really lost it. Okay, so that is the cat. A lot of stitches for the cat. This is going to go over 2 weeks. So anybody playing along at home, do not panic. This will go over 2 weeks. So we're going to move over to the dog. He is over here, just visiting jail. He is not in jail for a change. 8. Oh my God, what is up with the doubles? Andrew, did you jinx my dice? I'm going to move the cat off of the board so that he doesn't fall, just in case. Okay, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I feel like I'm hitting the stand, or I am hitting the stand. Tennessee Avenue. Who owns Tennessee? The Penguin. And the Penguin's rent for that piece is 400 stitches. Okay. 8 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let me just double check. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, you guys can't even see that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Atlantic Avenue. I don't think anyone owns that one. Do they? Atlantic. No, nobody owns that one. Atlantic. Buy. So the dog is going to purchase Atlantic Avenue for 600 stitches. Okay. And that was not double, so we're going to move on to the duck, who is up here on Illinois Avenue. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whoopsie, sorry. 7, 8, 9, 10. Pennsylvania. I think someone owns this one. Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania. Yep. The Penguin owns this one, and the rent for the Penguin's piece is 400 stitches. Okay. And that was not double, so we're going to move on to the Penguin, who is over here just visiting jail. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. St. James Place. That is owned by the Penguin. That is the Penguin, so that is just going to get 100. Okay, so just a quick recap. The cat rolled doubles for its first roll, landed on community chest on side 4, and it said that we got to play with the fancy floss and organize it. We do 100 stitches on the Park Place property, which is on side 4, a dark blue property, 100 stitches. For the second roll, we passed go, so the go piece will get 200. That will be the final 200 for mine. So we'll get to cross that off on my big board next week, or whatever week I end up doing it. And landed on Reading Railroad. That is owned by the dog, so we are going to be doing 200 stitches on the railroad property for rent. That is on side 1, if anyone has pieces assigned to sides. So 200 stitches for the corner piece, 200 stitches for side 1. And then it rolled doubles for a third time, rolled a 3, and landed on Vermont Avenue, which is on side 1, and it is a light blue property, and we're purchasing it for 600 stitches. One second, because I said once they, okay. So once they hit 6 purchases, that their rent is going to increase by 100, but that's not 6 for the cat. Okay, so the dog rolled doubles and landed on Tennessee Avenue, and that is owned by the Penguin, so we were paying 200 stitches in rent for the Tennessee Avenue or Orange property, which is on side 2. Second roll of doubles landed him on Atlantic Avenue, which is on side 3, and that is a yellow property, and it's purchasing it for 600 stitches. The duck rolled and landed on Pennsylvania Avenue, which is a green property on side 4. It is paying rent because that is owned by the Penguin. It is paying rent of 400 stitches. And then the Penguin rolled and landed on St. James Place, which is an orange property on side 2. It owns it, so we are just going to do 100 stitches. I have my whip list reduced down to colors, which I talked about in my plans video. So that 100 stitches will actually also be included or tacked on to the rent stitches for Tennessee Avenue. So that'll be cool. So let me go ahead and pause here. We'll gather up my stuff, and we have to update boards too. I forgot to do that before I played Monopoly. And yeah, be right back. Okay, so let's go ahead and update my boards. First one we're gonna update is my temperature board. And it's my new temperature board. We just started the temperature stitching, so. Okay. Ouch. The corner spoke at me. Oh my God, once again. Okay, so This coming week, or last week, Bless This Nest got 100 stitches. All my temperature pieces, as you see, have goals of 2,000 stitches. So this is dropping down to 1,900. And then as it gets, I'd say when it gets to be where it looks like less than 500 stitches, we'll pull 2 new ones for you guys to vote on for a replacement. Magnificent Wizard also got 100 stitches. Aurora Cabin got 100. Whoops. Okay, Frederick. It's kind of nice I got to work on all 5 pieces. Frederick got 200. So this one is dropping to 1,800. And In Her Garden also got 200. So this will also drop to 1,800. And then I'll let you know which pieces I'll be working on for the coming week after I update my boards. Okay. Hang on. I didn't take into account space to put my boards next to me. Okay, so for Monopoly, what we need to update on here is Winter Sampler. Where is it? Up here for the red properties, Winter Sampler. I had 700 stitches. I did another 400. So this is going to 1,100. And my goal is dropping from 3,300 down to, what is that, 2,900, right? I wrote it down just to make sure I was right. Yeah. Okay. And then the other one I need to update is Catching Rays. This is for go and free parking and just visiting. I had 3,200. I did another 600. So my total is increasing to 3,800. And my goal is dropping from 800 down to 200, because I did 600. So I only need 200 stitches to finish my goal for that, and then it will get replaced. I will show you today what the replacement piece is going to be, because I had to go into my closet anyway, so I went ahead and dug it out. Okay, and then we just got to update a few things on this one. I'm not doing my alphabets whips on a board because I'm just doing 500 stitches and then they're going back in the closet. Excuse me. What I need to update on here, Calendar Girls October. I had 1,016 stitches. I did another 200. I don't have a goal set for this because I just want to finish it. So this is increasing to 1,216, right? Is that what I had, 1016? Yeah. Okay. And then, oh, I forgot to take this off. That's funny. Let's take off Riding the Wave, which was my whip of shame for the month of July. I'll take that off. Okay, let me update Catching Rays marathon stitching. I had 3,762. I did another 400 stitches, so this is increasing to 4,162. I am 20 stitches ahead because, again, that event on the Facebook game that I was playing, I needed an even 100, so I needed 380 total for the week, and I just bumped it up so I could have the even 100. And then Honeymoon Sunset, I had 43,160. I added another 1,300, so my stitches this year is going up to 44,460. And my goal is dropping from 26,920 down to 25,620. 25,620. And my percent complete is increasing from 45.23% to 45.46%. My goal for August is to get this to 46 total. So there's that. Okay. So Monopoly stitching. This is going to get split up over a couple weeks. So if you're playing along, do not panic about getting all these stitches done this week because it ain't happening. Okay, real quick, I want to show you my replacement piece for Catching Rays. I'm not going to show it because I already showed you what it looks like. But once I do the stitches for Catching Rays, the next round, my Go and Free Parking and all that is going to be replaced with Dreaming of Autumn Leaves. I have to double check. I have to go on my phone. I took pictures of my boards before I had updated them. So I have to go back and see what stitches were, how many stitches were left in my goal. But I just wanted to go ahead and show this since I had it pulled out. There we go. That's my starting point. Sort of starting point, restarting point, I guess. But yeah, I really didn't show you very well, did I? I just kind of held it up and then put it back down. But yeah, I still have to frog this over here. But yeah, once I do the next round of Monopoly, if there's any stitches for Go, Just Visiting, Free Parking, the taxes, that'll be on Dreaming of Autumn Leaves. Okay. So, I need to do 200 stitches on Catching Rays, which I already showed you. Where'd my notebook go? Oh my God, where did it go? I literally just had it. Here it is. Okay. So for Monopoly. One moment. I'm not going to go over what each piece landed on again because I've already done that in the round. It'll be in the description box below as well. So for the dark blue piece that I have to do 100 stitches on, that is the Stitcher's Paradise Sal. This is out of the World of Cross Stitch magazine from 2024, I think. I think it was 2024. Designed by Doreen Jones. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. I'm currently in that section right there. I'll go over fabric and threads and all that jazz when I actually work on these because I don't know which ones I'm going to work on when. This is my starting point. I just need to do 100 stitches on it, so we'll see how far I can get regarding finishing this. It probably won't be very far. Cross stitching wise, I have to finish this gray border here and fill this in, and I got to like fill the cross stitching in here and here, and then I have to finish back stitching. Over here, the cross stitching is done. Is there anything else in that cross stitching wise or no? I don't think so. Yeah, once I fill in that needle book part and that border and then back stitch, that part 1 will be done. And then I can move on to part 2. Okay, so this will get 100. Oh my God, okay. Catching Rays Railroad is, what was the railroad again? Yeah, Mother Nature Christmas. So to pay rent on the railroad, I'll be working on Mother Nature Christmas. This is from the Just Cross Stitch magazine from 2020. I think this is from 2023. It's designed by, I think her name is Perry Hady. I think it's Perry, P-E-R-I or something like that. H-A-D-I. I don't remember her first name. Starts with a P. And this will get 200 stitches. That's my starting point. I will probably, I don't know where I'm gonna work. That's all done. I don't know if I'm gonna come over here or if I'm gonna continue with her, like the cuff and the hand over here. I don't know yet. Do not know, but this will get 200 stitches. And then, let's see, all right, I'm running out of space in my bag. The yellow property, Vermont Avenue, no, light blue. Vermont is getting purchased, and my light blue whip is Christmas reindeer. This is my kit from MP Studio. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. And this is purchase price is now 600 stitches, so this will get 600. And this is my starting point with it. I'll probably stay up here and continue working on this antler. Okay, so that was the cat. Okay, the dog needs to pay, all right, the orange property, he landed in Tennessee. Coffee break, okay. So this will get stitches from 2 pieces because the penguin owned the orange property that it landed on, but the dog did not own the orange one he landed on, so Coffee Break by Design Works. This piece will get a total of 500 stitches. And, oh, this is exciting. I'll be working, I forgot, I started the iced coffee block. So I will be working on that, 500 stitches. Yay, that's exciting. Okay. And then Atlantic, the yellow property, yellow, Halloween calendar. He is purchasing Atlantic Avenue. So my yellow property whip is Halloween calendar from Tiny Modernist. And this will get 600 stitches. And I do have this in Pattern Keeper. That's it. That's all I have done. Just 13 and 14 is completed, and I started on 20. So this will get 600. I really like this fabric. From Live and Die LA, but again, I'll go over that when I show it after I work on it. Okay, so that was the dog. The duck landed on Pennsylvania. That is the green and is paying rent. That one is another Halloween piece, and this one is Halloween letters from Primrose Cottage Stitches, and that is what it's going to look like when it's done. And the penguin owns this one, so it will, the rent for the penguin is now 400 for this piece. And this is my starting point. So I will do 400 stitches in the line up here, which is the October 31st line. These 3 are completely done. So, man, it is still pouring out rain. All right. And then, is that it? Yeah, because the penguins stitches are going to be on coffee break, which I showed you. Okay, so real quick, let me just show you a few other things that I'm going to be working on. So Honeymoon Sunset, I'm going to continue on the whip into shape stitching for catching rays, so have no fear. The 200 stitches for Monopoly, catching rays will still be out for whip into shape. And I may go ahead and keep it out and work on it here and there. We'll see. Like, I'm not going to put it away. I just don't know if I'm going to be committed to working on it every single week. But the other piece that I would like to try to get some work on this week, which I did not get to work on this last week, is Year of Gnomes from Cross Stitch for Everyone. This is Year of Gnomes June. And I would like, I'm keeping this out until I get it completed. And this is my starting point with it. I'm currently sitting at 3,134 stitches completed out of 4,672. I am at 67.08%. I think I only have about 1,500 stitches left, give or take. 1,500 and change. I know someone probably just did the math real quick and can give me the exact number, but it really doesn't matter. So that Calendar Girls October. I'll keep working on that. Temperatures. Oh, wait, alphabet real quick. So alphabet stitching. I'm just going to show you the next 3 letters. I didn't get to work on G. I showed you 4 last week. I only got to work on 3. I'm only going to show you 3 because with all the Monopoly stitching and the fact that I've only been averaging 3 letters per week, there's no sense in going over, because if I get all 3 of those and I still have extra time, I can either do Monopoly stitching or I can work on one of my other projects that stay out for the week. So for G, I showed this one last week, but I didn't get to it. This is Gothic House from Stitching Jules Design. And that's what it's going to look like when it's done. And this is my starting point with it. So this will get another 500 stitches. Hold on one second. I can tell you what I'm starting off. I'm starting off at 3,876 stitches completed out of 28,708. I am at 13.50%. So that is G. I'm excited for the ones for my alphabet letters this week. And then the letter H is going to be one I have not worked on in a really long time. This is going to be House. This was the Stiach Alone, or this was the Stiach Sal from 2020, the Stiach Alone, because we were all quarantined. But this is House from the TV show House. And I will go over the details when I show it, but I am working on this in 4 separate colorways. So I'm not sure how much detail you guys, or difference you guys will get to see. I want to say that I am currently on part 3, and I think I have to double check, but I think for part 3, I want to say that the green is completed. I want to say that the green is completed for part 3. So I'll just pick another color set and continue on part 3, 4. I think I started, no, that's all the same. Yeah, so I don't know which one I'm going to end up doing next. But I got to make sure that the green one is done. But this will get 500 stitches. And then for the letter I, if any of you guys know my whips, you might know which one this is. I'm super excited. It's a Marshmallow World by Sugar Stitches Design. So excited. I love this piece so much. As much as I love this piece and as excited I am about it, you would think that I would have this out some way to work on it already, which I have not. I don't know why, but this is my starting point with it. So this will get 500 stitches as well. Okay. And then temperatures. My whips are buried in that bag over there. I forgot to pull them back out. So I'm not going to hold them up when I tell you what's going to get worked on. The upcoming highs for the week, starting with today, are Friday is going to be 90. This is all in Fahrenheit. Saturday is going to be 90. Sunday is 89. Monday is 91. Tuesday is 94. Wednesday is 91. Thursday is 90. Another hot week. Yay. So 90, 90, 89, 91, 94, 91, 90. That means 3 projects are going to get worked on this week, since they're assigned to 2 numbers. Bless This Nest, the first one I showed for the temperatures, that one is going to get 300 stitches total. Magnificent Wizard is going to get 200 stitches, and In Her Garden is going to get 200 stitches. So, yes. Okay, little bit of a life update. Oh, that's all my stitching. That's it. So if that's all you're here for, then I mean it's literally just gonna be like 5 minutes, and then I'm signing off. But if you don't care about my life, then you can go, and I'll see you next week. But yeah. So today's the 8th. School starts on Monday. School starts on Monday. I am ready, pretty much. My mom took them back to school shopping and got their supplies, which I am forever grateful for. And my 15-year-old is now on joined the football team, so he is. I don't know, like starting or second up, or I don't know all that part, but I want to say he's like left guard. I think I'm not a football player. I don't really watch football. I don't know the positions. He told me left guard, I think he said, and I said, well, what's that? And he said it's to the left of the center. I said, is the center? This is how I figured it out. I said, is the center the one that the quarterback has to smell the farts before the play starts? And he said yes. I was like, okay, I know where you are now. But I think he's left guard, pretty sure. And so he's very excited. He's a big kid. I told him, I said, listen, if I was going up against you on the opposing team, I would be a little nervous, because he's a big boy. He's like 6'1". He's like, you know, so that's exciting. But yeah, my kids are going into 10th grade and 7th grade this year. And I think we're pretty much ready. I will be working in the ER tomorrow. I'm off on Sunday, and then I'm back to work at the clinic on Monday. For the week, and then I'm working in the ER Saturday and Sunday next weekends. That's gonna be rough. They switched to this AI scheduler, and it does, but my clinic still runs on facility scheduler, and so the AI scheduler does not realize that I work Monday through Friday elsewhere, and so it put me down. I can't request all the days off that I can't work, And so I just have to keep my fingers crossed that it doesn't put me down, so that my ER manager doesn't have to fix my schedule. And it put me down for 2 weekend days because I couldn't request off everything. I can only, like, the days I requested off were Monday through Friday. That's all I could do. Because, well, actually I can only request off 4 days. I can't select not to work more than 4 days because it considers everybody 3 days a week, even though I'm PRN over there. So luckily it didn't put me down for any weekdays, but it did put me down for 2 weekend days back to back next weekend, which I don't really want to do, but I haven't worked the past few weekends because it's been slow. So I figured, for one, I'm just gonna leave it because they may end up canceling me if it's not busy, but for two, it's whatever. I'll just work it. I'll just work it. So, because the following, I'm kind of annoyed because the whole reason why I'm working there is so that I could work on holidays, and I requested to work on Labor Day and the freaking AI scheduler didn't put me down. Stupid ass. But I'm working that Sunday for 8 hours, the Sunday before. So at least I don't have to use vacation time. That was the whole point. So anyway, enough bitching and moaning about my work schedule. I don't think there's anything else happening. Nope, I don't think so. And then let me just double check my Monopoly board real quick. Besides catching rays, is there anything else that is close to being completed goal-wise? No. Okay. So yeah, I think that's everything. I hope you guys have a fabulous week. And if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comment section down below. And the bell, if you like what you had to see and you're not already subscribed, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. And the bell, that's where we go, to be notified whenever I post a new video. And I believe that's it. So yeah, I'm gonna sign off and go grab some dinner with the kiddos. Take care. What time is it? Oh, it's almost 8. Take care, happy stitching, get a lot of stitches in, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.